speaking today?
Okay, Nia, you said you are a member of your management team at Capital One.
Yes, I'm the manager with Capital One. You got it.
All right. Um, Let me look and get that. You said an account number.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you're signed in, are you signed in on the app or website right now?
Why?
My
Why?
apologies. I was trying to guide you in accessing that information, but take your time. Let me
Oh,
know if you have questions.
oh
Okay?
no, ma'am. I know I might sound a little elderly today because of the little congestion that I have, but I grew up during the big bang, the big boom of the economy and the big dot-com bubble of the economy, and I'm fully aware that 9% of the entire United States economy is a financial system. So I know how to find my account number. It's
I got you.
three
No problem.
six two zero 4241 794. I do apologize for the little twinge in my throat.
You're A-okay. You're A-okay.
No,
Can
no,
I have you
no.
say your... Sorry, can I have you say your full name, please?
Zori Rush.
Thank you, Mr. Rush. Is loaded for me. All right. And how can I help you today? What was your concerns you had with Capital One?
Well, for one, I'd like to know if you are working inside the United States for a United States interest in the United States economy.
Yes, I'm actually located in Delaware, so I am in the United States.
Fantastic. Okay, well, the person that I spoke with before doesn't seem to grasp the concept of what they told me. I'm calling you about a virtual transaction that is a part of everyday life for the American consumer who does online banking, which is what I did when I completed a $50 transfer from a JP Morgan Chase account into a Capital One 360 account. Now, I took just if it were not online banking, what I just described is me taking a Federal Reserve it in my hand and giving it to you to deposit into making it back so that I can add another $50 to it. Now, I would like to do that. Now, does that sound like something that should be easily done if I had a federal note worth $50 and we both had our hands on it? Would you agree to let it go so I could put another $50 with it before I handed it back to you?
Just to make sure I'm understanding the concept, right? Are we
Hmm.
referencing to the $50 that's on hold right now from Chase?
No, I'm referencing a $50 reserve note from the United States. The value of $50 for the United States. We're eliminating the fact that there was a transaction through Chase. I'm asking about Chase business with customers. If a not Chase, Capital One, if I handed you a note, $50 note from the United States Treasury's Federal Reserve, and you grabbed it, would you let it go? Would Capital One let it go so that I could put another $50 with it to give to you to deposit into my account? Would you do that if I had an actual note in my hand to do that with?
I don't think I'm understanding. I am so
Okay,
sorry. The
you
question
and
for
you are
$50.
management for Capital One.
I am, yes.
Okay, do you understand that all of the deposits that equal a United States dollar are the equivalent of a Federal Reserve note? Like when you read the back of your dollar bill, it says property of the Federal Reserve, and it tells you exactly what it is. It's printed on each and every dollar. I'm asking you about that, and you're telling me you don't understand that concept at all.
And I apologize again because you're saying if you gave us a $50 reserve note, I'm not understanding.
Right. If I gave you a $50 reserve note, just say you were just a regular old bank and we didn't have all these new online banking transactions, and I just had a note for $50 rather than the $50 transaction that you have. I just have a $50 reserve note. I walked up to you and I give it to you and you grab it with your hand. And I said, wait a minute, I want to put another $50 with it. Would you let it go so I could put another $50 with it?
I don't think we would, ideally.
Okay. All right. I'd like to speak to, at this point, now that you've advised that you are the highest level of management, that creates a legal issue where the customer says something that thinks, and the company says something that the customer thinks is legally wrong and intrusive. So I think we've now created a legal issue before we've even started business. So how do we find out whether or not Chase actually refuses to release a Federal Reserve note so that it can get a higher Federal Reserve note? I'd like to hear your company owner say, no, I would not. I'd rather not have the $100. I'd rather hear rather than you as an employee getting paid to say something on behalf of the company, I'd rather hear your company say, I'd rather have $50 than $100. I want to hear your company say that. So what do we do now?
Right. So I can definitely escalate this to our escalations team as far as that.
How quickly can it be resolved? Because again, let's remember, there is a customer, despite the fact you are standing in a virtual line with a customer's $50 in your hand, and he's trying to take it back, and you're holding on to it. That's what's literally happening right now. So how does this escalation get resolved without you personally being liable for the injury I am personally suffering with the $50 based on your concept of what the $50 reserve note represents to Capital One, which I believe is in error.
No, I get what you're saying. I can escalate it to our escalations team. When I do that, it is within 30 business days. Because it's already on hold within Capital One, it doesn't give us the ability to
Ma'am, you're doing what that would prevent. I understand that you are saying that it doesn't matter. Even if I do, I'm still going to stand here in the bank lobby with the customer and hold the $50, even though it's the customer's $50, and he's telling me to let it go so he can give me more than $50. I'm just going to stand here and hold it and exploit that customer's $50 for 30 days while we make trades on the open market. That's what you're telling me you're going to do. Now, go through that procedure. Because if that's all you can do, I'm going to allow now the individual in the lobby of Capital One holding my $50 saying, no, I'm going to take it. So I need to identify you as the employee who thinks that is okay for Capital One to do.
All right. So I'm saying that, I don't know if I mentioned, I apologize, the expiration date for the whole is the 9th, January 9th.
It doesn't really matter to me, ma'am. What matters to me is the fact that I want to give you $100. That's what matters to me. Is my goal is to give you $100, and you're standing in the lobby of Capital One saying no. I just want the 50. And I don't believe your company owner wants you to do that. I don't believe your company owner is paying you to do that.
Gotcha. So ideally, we want to do a transfer of $100. Are you willing to do the difference since it's on hold for right now for the first 50?
I don't know what you mean. I mean that sounds like a proper resolution to the issue rather than canceling the transaction. Is just to make an additional transaction of $50. I mean, it wouldn't cause any harm to you. It wouldn't cause any harm to the customer. But here we are on the phone not discussing that.
Sorry, right now, do you want me to set up a transfer for an additional $50 to be pulled from Chase?
Well, if that would, let me look again. Let me look again. Because I think what needs to be transferred is actually $54, but I'm not sure. So let me look.
You're fine. And I do just have to let us know again if the call is recorded and monitored.
Oh, you're also you. So, ma'am, I just it had to advise a banking employee that they were holding the bank's ability to make larger deposits. Believe me, this call is being recorded. Definitely. I mean, it's Chase's and Capital One's responsibility to help you understand that you are actually working with real-time transactions that cannot be delayed because they are working on an open market there where trades are happening at the exact same time. So you can't delay a procedure at your bank and then a trade happen on the market, because that's market fraud. And you guys should know that. I mean, like if a customer calls you and say, hey, no, I need to put $100 in right now, that's going to change the value of your entire company. And if you wait an hour to do that, that's an hour's worth of trading time that your company is losing in competition with other national economies. And that, ma'am, is a threat to all of us. All of us are under threat when you don't know that delaying something could cause a collapse in the whole financial system. You as an employee of the financial system are unaware that something you're doing could collapse the whole financial system. But $54 is what I need to be transferred from that same account.
No problem.
Wait a minute. No, I don't want you to do that, because that's the problem that I'm having. I've now discovered that I can do both of these transfers in real time myself from JP Morgan if you just cancel the one that you're using right now to manipulate the markets. If you cancel the one you're using to manipulate the markets, I can just transfer the money immediately, all the entire balance from my JP Morgan account to Capital One in real time. I have an offer for me to do that right before me to do that right now. The only thing that's stopping me from doing that is you not being able, you claiming that you can't let go of that $50 when the Federal Reserve would say that's that guy's $50 and you better give it back to him. You know it and I know it. But somehow they've convinced you to believe that because it's a ACH transaction or a debit transfer of money, that it's not real money that's being transferred. Somebody's convinced you of that. But I don't know, how do we resolve that? Because that's my issue. My issue is that I need the funds transferred in real time. And And network rejection calls, unable to establish a data connection. Also, a tweet, stop police brutality. Dear at Governor Uganda, which security? Oh, that's what's on my screen. And the Capital One employee is now gone.